All right, so get this. The Bond report today, we're talking falconry, but with a twist.
Ooh, a twist. I'm all ears. Lay it on me.
Okay, so we're diving into this episode of The Bond, right? It's all about nature, sustainability, and, just good vibes all around.
Okay.
And the host, Joe Bond. Super approachable, makes you feel like you're hanging out with a friend, learning about cool stuff.
I love that. So what's the twist?
Well, she visits Adam's falconry in this episode, and I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, this could be a Hallmark movie.
Falconry, Hallmark style. I'm intrigued now. Tell me more.
Right, like picture it, a charming falconer, a city girl who needs to reconnect with nature. Maybe a rescued hawk that brings them together.
Okay, I can see it, but let's back up for a sec. What exactly is Adam's falconry?
So it's this amazing place where they train and care for birds of prey. And we're lucky enough to have someone here who knows this world inside and out, an expert to help us break it all down.
Perfect. I'm ready to get schooled.
Me too. What really struck me was the variety of birds, hawks, falcons. I had no idea how specialized they are. Like Gia, the expert at Adam's falconry, she compared them to dog breeds.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Right. Like you've got your Harris hawk, super intelligent, easy to train. Your golden retriever of the bird world, basically.
Okay, I see it. So what about falcons then? What breed would you compare them to?
Oh, falcons are intense.
Ah.
All about the chase. Think like a border collie laser-focused on herding sheep.
Ah, okay, got it. So like sheepdogs of the sky. Makes sense.
Exactly. But then there are eagles. Huge. Like 10 pounds perched on your arm. I can't even imagine the grip strength.
Whoa, yeah, that's a whole other level.
Right. You need serious arm muscles for that. Speaking of strength, you know what blew my mind?
What's that?
The history of falconry. I mean, I knew it was old, but we're talking ancient China, European royalty, even some religious orders were into it.
Wait, nuns with falcons? That's an image.
Right. And the penalties for poaching a falcon back then were insane. Like, they'd literally pluck your eyes out. Talk about high stakes.
Wow, makes you realize how valuable these birds were. Okay, so we've got hawks, falcons, eagles. What about owls? Aren't they a bit different?
Oh, totally. Owls are like the PhDs of falconry. Gia explained that they hunt mostly by sound. Their ears are even off-center to help them pinpoint prey we can't even hear.
So they're like stealth ninjas of the night. Pretty cool.
Totally. And speaking of stealth, did you catch that part about falconry hoods?
Yeah, I was a little confused about that at first. Seemed kind of, I don't know, restrictive.
Right. Before watching, I thought it was like some cruel thing, too. But Gia explained it's actually the opposite. The hood's like a safe space, blocks out all the crazy stimulation.
So it's like noise-canceling headphones for a bird.
Exactly. Creates this little zen zone for them. I never would have guessed.
Me neither. It really emphasizes that falconry is all about this balance, respecting their wild instincts while working with them.
It's definitely changed my whole perspective.
Mine too. There's so much more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about the people side of this? Gia talked about how falconry can be like therapeutic even, called the birds her emotional support crew.
Yeah, that part really resonated with me too. It makes sense though, right? You're out in nature, got to be calm, present, almost like meditation.
Totally. Like, you can't bring your stress and to-do list to a falconry session. These birds demand your full attention, you know?
Right, they force you to be mindful whether you like it or not. And that whole trust thing, it's got to be earned.
Yeah, like that word she used, manning. At first I was like, wait, what? But it's basically getting the bird used to being around people.
Right. Starting small, just hanging out, talking softly, offering treats. It's like making friends with a super alert animal.
And eventually you work up to touching their feet, handling the jesses, having them perch on your glove.
But the whole time, you're watching their body language, looking for any sign of stress, constant communication, building that bond.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it. And then she talked about how the training is tailored to each bird's hunting style. Hawks, for example, she said they're more ground-focused.
Yeah, like little feathered tanks going after their prey. So their training might focus on flushing stuff out of hiding, right?
Makes sense. But falcons, they're the dive bombers, hitting speeds up to 247 miles an hour.
I know. Can you imagine? Talk about a death blow.
Wow, yeah. Their training must be completely different then, right?
Totally. They got to practice those high-speed dives, swooping down from high perches.
It's incredible how diverse falconry is. Like, you can't just use one approach. I got to adapt to each bird's personality.
It's about respecting their wildness
Yeah.
while building that partnership. And speaking of history,
Oh, yeah, we touched on that earlier, but it's mind-blowing how far back falconry goes. centuries.
It's this ancient thread connecting us to all these different cultures. Makes you think about how long humans have been fascinated by these birds.
Right. From emperors to royalty across continents. Even nuns, remember? It's pretty wild.
It puts things into perspective. Makes you think about the ethics too, right? We can't just exploit these amazing creatures.
Totally. Gio was really adamant about that. Understanding their natural behaviors, making sure their needs are met. It's a responsibility, not just a hobby.
It is. It's like you're caring for this creature that's capable of incredible things. You owe it to them to get it right.
Exactly. And it's not just about the individual bird either, right? Falconry has a role to play in conservation too.
Oh, yeah, big time. Gia was really passionate about that. She talked about habitat loss, poisoning, even car strikes. It's scary how many threats they face.
It's a reminder that we're all connected, you know? What harms them harms us eventually.
It really does make you think. Falconry isn't just about the thrill of the hunt. It's about understanding and protecting these creatures and their whole ecosystem.
Absolutely. So what was your biggest takeaway from the episode? What really clicked for you?
For me, it was realizing that falconry isn't about training birds to hunt. It's about forging this incredible bond. Trust, mutual respect. It's a partnership, not a dictatorship.
I love that. It's not about dominance, it's about working together, which takes a certain humility on our part, right?
Totally. Recognizing we can learn from these creatures, not just try to control them. Okay, completely switching gears for a sec, but have you seen those amazing holiday socks I was telling you about?
Oh, right. The ones from xpfe.fun. Tell me more. I'm always down for a good sock.
Okay, so these are next level. They're subtly festive, so you can wear them year-round. Like the designs are only visible when you take your shoes off.
Ooh, that's clever. So it's like a little secret for your feet.
Exactly. And they have this awesome Father's Day pair, neutral beige on the front, but the top has a bright star, symbolizing how dads are the stars of the day.
Ah, that's cute. Okay, I need to know what's on the sole. Something fun there, too.
Oh yeah, parrots. Bright, colorful parrots on each sock. It's such a cool detail.
Okay, I am sold. We're definitely linking to xpfe.fun in the episode description. People need to see these.
Agreed. Okay, back to the birds. I want to dive deeper into the training process. What does it actually look like to train a bird of prey?
Ooh, good question. Gia broke it down really well, said it's all about positive reinforcement, kind of like training a dog.
So lots of treats, praise, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Start with small goals, gradually increase the complexity. It's all about trust and communication through these carefully planned exercises.
Okay, I'm trying to picture it, but can you give me an example? What's one of those exercises?
Sure. One common technique is called luring. Basically, they use a lure, like a piece of leather or fur attached to a string to simulate prey.
So they swing it around and the bird chases it.
Right. The bird learns to associate the lure with a food reward, so they're motivated to follow it. And as the training goes on, they can start incorporating different flight patterns, maneuvers.
Gotcha, that makes sense. But how do you actually get the bird to come back? Like, couldn't they just fly off?
That's where the trust and bond come in. Through consistent training and positive reinforcement, the bird learns to trust the falconer and come back to the glove for their reward.
Wow, it's really amazing when you think about the communication and understanding involved in all of this.
It is, it truly is. It's a real partnership built on mutual respect and that shared love for the hunt.
And that passion is contagious.
Hmm.
I'm honestly feeling inspired to learn more about falconry, maybe even try it myself someday.
I think that's a fantastic idea. There are falconry centers all over the place where you can learn from experienced falconers, get up close and personal with the birds.
I'm definitely going to look into it. Who knows, maybe someday we'll both be out there, soaring with falcons on our gloves.
That would be incredible. And, speaking of that, I can't help but think back to that moment in the Bond where Gia talked about understanding the role of birds of prey in the ecosystem.
Oh yeah, that was a powerful message. She really emphasized how vital they are for maintaining balance in nature.
It's easy to forget that even predators have a crucial role to play. They help keep populations of other animals in check, prevent overgrazing, disease outbreaks, all that.
Right, it's all about that delicate balance. Every species has a purpose, and when one element's disrupted, the whole system can suffer.
Exactly, and it's a sobering reminder that we need to be more mindful of our impact on the environment. What we do to these birds ultimately affects us all.
It does. It really does. And it makes you realize that falconry isn't just about sport or recreation. It's about connecting with nature on a deeper level, understanding that interconnectedness.
I love that. It's about recognizing that we're part of something much bigger than ourselves, that we have a responsibility to protect this amazing planet. Makes you think, right?
It does. And it makes me wonder how different people might connect with falconry. Like my mom, she's all about mindfulness and meditation. I bet she'd love that calm, present moment focus that falconry demands.
Yeah, totally. And your dad, who's such an outdoorsman, he'd probably connect with the conservation aspect, the importance of preserving these birds and their habitats.
Exactly. It just shows how falconry has something to offer everyone, even if you're not out there with a bird on your glove.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how much we project our own ideas onto these birds, right? Like with the hoods, we assume it's cruel, but it's about creating a calm environment.
Yeah, like we forget that they need safety and security too, not just these powerful predators we see them as.
Exactly. And that kind of bleeds into how we view their role in the ecosystem too. We focus on the taken life part, but they're essential for keeping things in balance.
It's like Gia said, apex predators, top of the food chain. Their presence or lack of it tells a whole story about the environment.
It's like a warning sign.
Mhm.
If they're struggling, something's off. Really highlights how interconnected everything is.
Totally. And it brings us right back to conservation, right? Gia's passion for protecting these birds and their habitats was really inspiring.
It was. And it's a good reminder that we all have a part to play in that. Whether it's supporting organizations like Adam's Falconry or just making more conscious choices in our own lives.
Right. Every little bit counts. Speaking of conscious choices, the socks we were talking about, from xpfe.fun, they're not just fun, they're made with sustainably sourced materials too.
Oh, yeah. Style and sustainability, the perfect combo. Love that they're subtle, too.
Hmm.
You could be wearing reindeer socks at work and no one would even know.
Right. A little secret just for you.
Okay.
Okay, big picture time. If someone's listening to this and they're totally hooked on falconry now, what's the one thing they got to do?
Volunteer. Find a local wildlife organization, a falconry center, something like that, and just get involved. No better way to learn than by doing, and you're contributing to something meaningful.
Absolutely. It's a chance to experience the world of these birds up close, connect with nature in a whole new way. Who knows, maybe they'll even inspire someone else along the way.
Totally. It's like what Joe does with the bond, right?
Yeah.
Sharing knowledge and passion, hopefully sparking some curiosity in others.
Yeah, exactly. Reminding people that even in our busy lives, there's always room for connection with nature, learning something new, appreciating the amazing creatures around us.
Well said. So, as Joe would say,
Until we bond again.